Hello everyone. Welcome to our TLE 7 class, Quarter 2 Week 2. This week we are going to discuss 1. Safety procedures in farm operations, and 2. Hazards and risks in farm operations. Now this time, we're going to do an interactive activity to help us learn some important vocabulary related to different professions. I have a list of words here, and I will ask some of you to come up to the board and locate them. Yes, very good. We have agriculture. Next word. Yes, very good. There is administrator. Next word. Yes, very good. We have business. Next word. Yes, very good. We have career. Next word. Yes, very good. We have engineer. Next word. Yes, very good. We have farmer. Next word. Yes, very good. We have grower. Next word. Yes, very good. We have manager. Next word. Yes, very good. We have technician. Next word. Yes, very good. We have scientist. And now, let's proceed with our lesson. From the following pictures, what can you say about this? For unlocking content vocabulary, which among the 3 important words do you think most valuable for us to maintain? Why? Explain in 3 to 5 sentences your response. 1. Hazard. 2. Risk. 3. Safety. Next we have 1. Accident. It is an unexpected and unfortunate incident that occurs accidentally and causes hurt, damage, or injury. 2. Agricultural chemicals. These are chemical agents that are used to control crop-harming organisms, like fungi, nematodes, mites, insects, and rodents or viruses, in the farm such as fungicides and insecticides. 3. Cleaning. It is the act or process of removing dirt from tools, containers and farm facilities. 4. Chemicals. It means the interaction between substances. It can be in the form of liquid, solid or gas. It can be from any pure substance or a mixture of different substances. 5. Disinfection chemicals. It refers to the chemical used in cleaning which has the ability to kill microorganisms, especially pathogens. 6. Hazard. It can potentially harm or injure workers. In any workplace, hazard exists. 7. Over-fatigue. Improper posture while harvesting the crops, and using unguarded machineries are some of the common hazards. 8. Incident. It refers to any remarkable or interesting event or occurrence, whether intentional or unintended. 9. Near miss. It refers to an unanticipated event that almost harms persons or property but does not cause any injury or damage. 10. Occupational safety. These are safe practices related to production and work process in the workplace. 11. Safety. It is the physical or environmental conditions of work which comply with the prescribed occupational health safety (OSHA) standards and which allow the workers to perform his or her job without or within acceptable exposure to hazards. 12. Safety measures. It is an action or procedure that is designed to lower the occurrence or risk of injury, loss and danger to persons, property or the environment. 13. Risk. It is a situation involving exposure to danger, injury or loss. 14. Unsafe acts. These are activities or behaviors that depart from established safety norms, such as disobeying safety guidelines or failing to properly employ personal protection equipment. 15. Unsafe conditions. It include physical aspects within the workplace that have the potential to cause harm, such as poor housekeeping, insufficient lighting or ventilation, malfunctioning equipment, or inappropriate handling of hazardous products. On our yesterday's lesson, we studied about the different careers and job opportunities related to agriculture. Based on the photos that were presented a while ago, what do you think will be our lesson focus for today? Now, let's talk about the occupational safety when in the farm. Occupational safety when in the farm is a safety practices set by farm owners that involves production and work process of farm workers. Farmers should always take extra measures to ensure their safety while working in the farm. Now, what about the hazard and risk in the farm? Hazards and risk in the farm. Farmers are exposed to a lot of risk, which can lead to major accidents or injuries. Risk is the possibility of a hazard to exist. It may cause injury or health problems. It is important that workers are properly trained and properly guided by the management. Hazard can potentially harm or injure workers. In any workplace, hazard exists. Over-fatigue, improper posture while harvesting the crops, and using unguarded machineries are some of the common hazards. Now, here are the types of hazard. 1. Physical hazard. It includes weak platform, slippery stairs or floorings, falling objects, excessively loud music, prolonged vibration, poor ventilation, extreme temperatures, and poor air quality. 2. Mechanical hazard. It is caused by electrically operated machineries or devices that can cause electric shock or electrocution. Pressure vessels, tractors, and cranes are all used in farm operations. 3. Chemical hazard. These are typical of hazardous chemicals that can cause fire and explosion that came from pesticides, cleaning agents, acids, and poisons. Exposure to certain chemicals or improper handling and use of those chemicals can cause acute or long-term adverse health effects. Main classifications of chemical hazards include asphyxiants, corrosives, irritants, sensitizers, carcinogens, mutagens, teratogens, reactants, and flammables. Long-term exposure to chemical hazards such as silica dust, engine exhausts, tobacco smoke, and lead may result to increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. Use of protective personal equipment, PPE, is advised because it may reduce the risk of damage from contact with hazardous chemicals and materials. 4. Biological hazard. It includes bacteria, viruses, mold, mildew, insects, and vermin, among others. 5. Psychosocial hazard. It is the stresses that farmers get from work, family, or even among friends. 6. Ergonomic hazard. It refers to any physical condition that can be experienced in the workplace due to incorrect body movements that can cause injury or other health concern that may affect musculoskeletal system, causing aches and sprains that may appear not too serious at first but may develop into serious health problem which can cause permanent damage to the body. Now here are the chemicals and hazardous tools and equipment used for farm work. 1. Spraying chemicals. The use of fertilizers and pesticides are common in farming. These are used to control pests, weeds, and mollusks. Spraying is the most common method of applying chemicals. Farm owners consult local agriculturists for the appropriate chemicals to use in their crops. Here are some important things to remember when using chemical for the crops. 1. Do not attempt to spray if there is a strong wind and its direction is towards the body of water or a house. 2. Never wash the spray equipment with water running down into open drains or towards a dam. 3. Refrain from using used chemical containers. To reduce the risk of hazardous chemicals, do the following. 1. Appropriate PPE must be used. 2. Store the chemicals in locked cabinets or storage area. 3. Know the first aid procedures. 4. Provide a list of hazardous chemicals used in the farm. Land preparation using heavy equipment and implements. The use of mechanical equipment for land preparation like tractor might involve risks such as a person being run over by it. The tractor also has the tendency to overturn, especially if it is running too fast, or the operator makes a sharp turn, sudden swerve, or sudden stop. Here are some things to remember when using heavy farm implements. 1. Do not use a tractor for transportation. It is not a passenger vehicle. 2. Use a seatbelt when driving a tractor. 3. Use of PPE can save the operator from serious injuries. To avoid possible hazard and risks in the farm, PPE is advised. Safety is the physical environmental condition of work which complies with occupational health safety (OSHA) standards and which allows the farmers to perform their job without or within acceptable exposure to hazards. One of the basic requirements to maintain these standards is the provision of PPE. This can reduce the number and severity of farmers-related injuries and illnesses. Here are some of the personal protective equipment or PPE used in the farm. 1. Farm respiratory protection. Since farmers use fertilizers and other chemicals, it is necessary for them to use respirators to protect themselves from inhaling mold spores and chemicals. Respirators must be properly selected, worn, and maintained to ensure maximum protection. 2. Eye protection. This is used to protect farmers' eyes from possible flying objects, liquid sprays, or other elements that may enter their eyes. There are several types of eye protectors like goggles and glasses with safety shields, among others. 3. Foot protection. A farmer's feet is one of the most exposed parts of the body during work. Wearing appropriate footwear protects the farmer from stepping on sharp objects or animal bites. It can also protect him, her from slipping. 4. Hand protection. Farmers use gloves to protect their hands from hazardous elements such as holding chemicals or removing infested crops. Use disposable gloves when dealing with infested crops. 5. Head protection. Since farmers are commonly exposed to heat of the sun, it is important for them to wear a hat. This is also necessary to protect their head from slip or fall. 6. Body protection. It comes in many forms, depending on the job. Farmers often wear long-sleeve clothes and jeans. This is necessary to protect them from harmful elements. Here's the basic first aid during emergency situation and accidents in the farm. First, shock. 1. Do not give the victim anything to eat or drink. 2. Lay the victim on his/her back but do not move him/her if there is a neck or back injury. 3. Make sure that the victim gets adequate air. 4. Keep the victim warm. 5. Raise the victim's feet and legs with a pillow. 6. If the victim vomits, roll the victim on his/her side and keep the windpipe clear. Next, bleeding and wounds. 1. Place a clean cloth or gauze over the wound. Apply firm, steady pressure for at least 5 minutes. 2. Elevate an injured arm or leg above the level of the victim's heart if possible. 3. When bleeding stops, secure the cloth with a bandage. Do not lift the cloth from the wound to check if the bleeding has stopped. Be sure that the bandage is not too tight. 4. Check the victim for shock. 5. Use tourniquets only when you cannot control the bleeding. Next, chemical or compressed gas burns. 1. Use a drench hose, emergency shower, or eye wash for at least 15 minutes to rinse away all traces of chemicals while removing any contaminated clothing from the victim. 2. Cover the burn loosely with a clean, dry cloth or special burn dressing. 3. Check the victim for shock. Next, for heat or electric burn. 1. Submerge the burned area in cold, clean running water if the skin is not seriously affected. 2. Avoid applying cream or any form of ointment. Next, fainting. 1. Ordinarily, fainting victims immediately regain consciousness after. If this does not happen, the victim should immediately be brought to the emergency room. 2. For the first aid, the victim should be laid down on their back and allow plenty of fresh air. Apply cold compress in the forehead and if the victim vomits, keep the windpipe clear by rolling him to his/her side. Next, heat stroke. 1. Heat stroke is life-threatening so this should never be taken for granted. Flush, hot and dry skin, rapid pulse, very minimal perspiration, and unconsciousness are signs of heat stroke. 2. You need to bring the victim to a cooler place and lie him/her on the back with feet up, then loosen clothing and remove footwear. Apply cold compress or wet towel on the forehead, neck, armpit, and extremities to cool the victim. Treat the victim for shock or bring the victim to the nearest hospital. Before we begin our lesson, I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. It's tough not being monetized, and your support would mean a lot to me. By liking and subscribing, you'll help me create even more educational content. If you have any suggestions for improvement, please feel free to comment below. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to our TLE 7 class, Quarter 2, Week 2, Lesson 2. This week we are going to 1. Discuss care and maintenance of crops. 2. Discuss harvesting and post-harvesting practices. 3. Perform agricultural practices in crop production. This time, we will have a short review. You will take a 10-item diagnostic test about various practices on crop care and maintenance. Are you ready? Number 1. Which of the following factors helps the plants to produce their own food through photosynthesis? A. Water. B. Sunlight. C. Seeds or seedlings. D. Temperature. And the correct answer is very good, letter B, sunlight. Next, number 2. This factor influences the growth of the plant by irrigation to maintaining the moisture in the soil. A. Water. B. Sunlight. C. Seed or seedlings. D. Temperature. And the correct answer is very good, letter A, water. Number 3. Providing the primary needs of the plants such as cultivation, fertilizer, irrigation, application of pesticides, weed control. Provision of support is generally referred to as blank. A. Harvesting. B. Post-harvesting. C. Crop care and maintenance. D. Pre-production. The correct answer is, yes, very good, it is letter C, crop care and maintenance. Number 4. Providing trellis to the crawling and climbing plants is a way of blank. A. Provision of support. B. Application of fertilizer. C. Application of pesticides. D. Weed control. The correct answer is yes, very good, it is letter A, provision of support. Next, number 5. This crop care and maintenance helps loosens the hardened soil around the plant. Large acres of farms use mechanical aids in plowing and harrowing. A. Weed control. B. Cultivation. C. Pests and diseases control. D. Irrigation. And the answer is letter B, cultivation. Number 6. This practice is being carried out if the soil is deprived of nutrients. A. Storage. B. Harvesting. C. Fertilizer application. D. Pests and diseases control. And the answer is letter C, fertilizer application. Next, number 7. Blank is done when crops reach maturity and it influences the quality of produce. A. Post-harvesting. B. Harvesting. C. Storage. D. Temperature. And the correct answer is letter B. Harvesting. Number 8. This post-harvest practice classifies the produce according to their size, shape, color and ripeness. A. Selling. B. Harvesting. C. Packaging. D. Grading. And the correct answer is very good, letter D, grading. 9. When produce are sold through retail or wholesale, this post-harvest practice is called blank. A. Selling. B. Harvesting. C. Packaging. D. Grading. And the correct answer is yes, very good, it is letter A, selling. Number 10. To ensure proper moisture of the seeds sown, the depth should be blank. A. 0.5 to 1 inch. B. 1 to 1.5 inch. C. 2 to 2.5 inch. D. 1.5 to 2 inch. And the correct answer is yes, very good, it is letter D, 1.5 to 2 inches. Now for our guided inquiry. 1. Can you name factors that influence the growth of the plants? What are those? 2. What should be considered in crop production? Can you name pre-production, production, and post-harvest practices? 3. Which of these practices have you observed done by your parents or farmers in your community, or done in your own backyard garden or field? 4. Why should a farmer be knowledgeable on the various practices in crop production? This time, we will watch a video clips on the proper care and maintenance of crops. After which, each student will find a learning buddy and will answer the guide questions that follow. Here's the video clips. For the guide questions. 1. What are the different practices in caring and maintaining of crops shown in the video? Enumerate each from pre-production to harvesting if necessary. 2. Why is it significant for farmers to be knowledgeable in the proper care and maintenance of crops? Now, we have a follow-up activity from the previous one. From the sharing of the learning buddies, you will now shift to expert farmers group. You will form your own group to discuss the various proper care and maintenance of crops. Each group will be assigned to a particular crop care and maintenance practice. Group 1. In seedbed preparation. Group 2. In weed control. Group 3. Irrigation. Group 4. In application of fertilizer. Each member of each group will be given time to share what he or she learned from the learning buddy session. Then, each group will select 2 experts. These 2 experts will summarize what will transpire in the discussion. All experts will convene and discuss with other experts their assigned task while the members prepare the materials for presentation. Afterwards, the 2 experts from each group will stay on their own station as they wait for other groups' members to visit their station. As soon as there are visitors, the experts will explain the crop care and maintenance. The members will go around to the different stations. You will be assessed based on the following criteria. Here are the types of crops. There are 7 categories of crops: food crops, feed crops, fiber crops, oil crops, ornamental crops, and industrial crops. 1. Food crops. This is primarily raised, cultured, and harvested for human consumption. It may be classified as field crops or root crops. Field crops are grown on a large scale for commercial purposes. This includes fruits and vegetables, wheat, rice, corn, sugarcane. Root crops are underground plant parts for human consumption, e.g. carrot, sugar beet, turnip, potato, peanut, radish, etc. 2. Cash crops. This type of crops is sold for profit. It can be exported to other countries as well. Examples are coffee, cocoa, sugarcane, and other exportable crops. 3. Feed or forage crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for livestock consumption. Examples are corn, pasture grasses. 4. Fiber crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for its fibers to be used as a raw material. Examples are cotton, abaca, banana or pineapple fiber. 5. Oil crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for production of oil. Examples are sugarcane, palm tree, coconut, etc. 6. Ornamental crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, and harvested for decorations in the garden and landscape projects. Examples are orchids, rubber tree, bougainvillea, rose. 7. Industrial crops. This type of plant is usually raised, cultured, harvested, and processed by industries for the production of non-edible materials, e.g. tobacco. Crops are also classified according to growth habits. This includes herb, vine, liana, shrub, tree, evergreen, and deciduous. In addition, these crops may be considered as annual, biennial, or perennial crops. There are many variables that influence crop production. These include water, soil, wind, temperature, sunlight, seed selection, knowledge, and crop care and maintenance. It is deemed important to consider these factors as they affect the growth of the plant and as well as the produce or harvest. Crop production is a process because it involves several steps wherein farmers should take precautionary measures at each step. The farmers should also consider the external conditions and factors to achieve bountiful harvest. Thus, farmers should have sufficient knowledge in crop care and maintenance. Here are the practices of crop care and maintenance. 1. Cultivation. This is the first stage of crop production. Cultivation refers to the stirring the soil through plowing or harrowing. Cultivating the soil is one of the most effective ways to control weeds and pests. Cultivating the soil loosens the soil around the plant, which provides air for the root of the plants. This technique is called conventional tillage. Reduced or no tillage can lead to accumulation of soil carbon, consequently benefiting soil health and improving crop yields. 2. Seed sowing or planting seedlings. Good quality and healthy seeds and seedlings should be considered prior to sowing and planting, respectively. Correct depth of soil of 1.5 to 2 inches deep is important for sowing seeds to ensure proper moisture. In sowing the seeds or planting the seedlings, farmers should consider the proper spacing to allow plants on its optimal growth. 3. Irrigation. Crops require water because water prevents crops from drying out, especially during drought. However, the amount of water differs from each variety of crops. There are various ways in which farmers irrigate the crops: manual, drip, and sprinkler irrigation. Manual irrigation is labor-intensive and time-consuming method which uses laborers to irrigate water using water cans. Drip irrigation is the most effective way to supply water and nutrients to crops. It provides water and nutrients directly to the zone of plants in proper amount and proper time. Sprinkler irrigation uses pipes and spray to irrigate the whole field. Pipelines may be used when water is scarce to eliminate water losses. Finally, soil and plant factors determine the irrigation requirements of the crops. 4. Fertilizer application. If the soil is deprived of nutrients, it requires management of nutrients such as application of fertilizers, manures, and compost to enrich the soil content. There are methods of fertilizer application: scattering and mixing with the soil before planting. 5. Weed control. Weeds lead to the reduction of crop yield, increased production costs, and increased incidence of pests and diseases. To control weeds, methods employed including hand weeding, mechanical cultivation, application of pesticides. Manual weeding, hand weeding is time-consuming and labor-intensive method. Laborers uses their hands and/or sickle, scythe to remove weeds. Mechanical weeding uses machineries to remove weeds such as tonneau weeder, power tiller, basket hoe. Chemical weeding uses herbicides to remove seeds. They may be considered selective or non-selective herbicides. Selective herbicides aim the weeds only with effect to the crops, while non-selective herbicides harm both main crops and the weeds. Thus, skill is needed to applying this kind of herbicide. 6. Pests and diseases control. To drive away pests, farmers apply pesticides. There are different varieties of pesticides and each of them has a particular function. This includes herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, molluscicides, and rodenticides. However, farmers are encouraged to employ eco-safe and eco-friendly ways to control pests and diseases. This may include production of organic pesticides and encouragement on the presence of organisms that kills pests. 7. Support for climbing plants. There is a need to provide support for climbing and crawling plants such as bitter gourd, squash, string beans. Trellis may be made or wood or metal. Here are the harvesting and post-harvesting practices. Harvesting and preservation. Farmers harvest when crops reach maturity. Farmers have various ways to gather and harvest crops, such as traditional technique and modern ways. This stage of the development of vegetables when harvested influences the quality of produce. There are factors that determine the harvest date of the crops, such as genetic composition of the vegetable variety, planting date, and environmental conditions. Manual harvesting is employed through the use of mechanical tools such as sickle, scythe for broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Some vegetables are. Changes in the post-harvest are influenced by various factors such as kind of crop, temperature, oxygen and carbon dioxide content, relative humidity, and disease incitant organisms. Storing the produce contributes price stabilization. It also contributes to the preservation of the produce. Vegetable storage should consider the following parameters. free from mechanical, insect, and disease injury, and matured crops. There are changes that occur on the produce such as water loss, conversion of starch and sugar, flavor changes, color changes, toughening or softening, vitamin gain or loss, sprouting, rooting, and decay. These deteriorates the quality of produce. So, proper storage is needed. Common, unrefrigerated storage, and cold, refrigerated storage, are methods to store vegetables. There is a lack of precise control of temperature and humidity in common storage. This uses insulated storage houses, outdoor cellars, or mounds. Cold storage, on the other hand, allows precise regulation of temperature and humidity, and maintenance of constant conditions with the use of refrigeration. For pre-marketing operations and selling, this stage involves washing, trimming, waxing, pre-cooling, grading, pre-packaging, and packaging. Pre-cooling involves rapid removal of heat from freshly harvested vegetables, slows natural deterioration of the produce, slows the growth of decay, and retards water loss. This includes hydrocooling, contact icing, vacuum cooling, cooling, and air cooling. Hydrocooling is done by cooling the produce by direct contact with cold water flowing through the packed containers. Contact icing uses crushed ice placed in the package or spread over a stack of packages to pre-cool the contents. Vacuum cooling produces rapid evaporation of small quantity of water that lowers the temperature of the crops. Air cooling is done through exposure of vegetables to cold air. Grading ensures that the crops are classified according to their size, shape, color, and ripeness. This establishes a good trade. Packaging. The products are placed in bags, trays, cartons, crates, and hampers of various kinds and sizes. This furnishes convenient means for transport, loading, stacking, security, and economy space. Selling. Farmers sell their produce through retail or wholesale. Retail sales are done when consumers buy produce, often through roadside stands. Wholesale marketing is made when produce is sold to retailers, commercial, institutional, or other large-scale owners. Here are other additional practices to increase crop productivity and farm profitability. 1. Increase crop diversity. 2. Enhance beneficial pollinators population. 3. Employ more eco-friendly weed control measures. 4. Improve soil quality. 5. Manage labor and input costs. 6. Keep track of all the records including expenses and profit. 7. Involve in creative marketing.